right, Cash, let's not waste people's time. Let's get right into it. The main topic of discussion this whole weekend, ever since Friday when it dropped, I want to say like early in the morning, start getting the lights up and people, hey, you got to listen at this. So I was kind of taken back on, DJ Khaled. I knew he had dropped the album. I like how he promoted with the love with his face and it's just moving God did like that. I thought that was kind of unique, for a special drop promo. But as we know, Khaled last album didn't start off the gate too hot. He was a little bit upset. If I remember correctly, as it was who was it? It was Tyler the Creator, right? Tyler the Creator had came out and his album dropped, and no Khaled album wasn't getting as much play. Seemed like he really took that to heart, really curated this one a lot better. And he gave you solid hit after hit after hit. So when we was doubting him, guess what?
God didn't. Apparently, you know what I mean? Yeah, Khaled came with it, man. Like I said, man, you're gonna listen to a Khaled album no matter what. For all of the I won't say hate, but for all of the judgment and the discussions go in Khaled's projects. I mean, he's released countless amounts. Like, he's probably one of the DJs that took it to the album mode and now producer mode. You can kind of say that has done it at this level, with just studio released albums, you know what I mean? And putting that battery in artists back. So there's a lot to say for that. We can't forget some of the songs that he did give us in terms of anthems and songs that are just banger. You remember Scarface and Nas? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You remember Nas and Jay-Z on some of these joints? You remember Nas solo joint on a Khaled joint a few years ago where we was like, if we ever get that Nas, if we ever get that Nas again, and there's just countless others, man. You know what I mean? To say, these are bangers, and or he's representing rap in a good space. You know what I mean? Of course, he chases the hits, but last few been kind of a little topsy-turvy, not, getting the warm welcome that he typically receives with the hits. But this one, this one, Prez, so far so good, man. I mean, I've only listened to it like twice this weekend, but it just came out at the perfect time, man. It's still summer out, nice out. Had a nice mixture of raps, man, on there, man. It's a good mixture, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't lose the faith, man, because I definitely lost faith in him, man. I didn't believe that he was going to keep pulling it off. And, as the numbers was dropping, could he afford to continue to have the big name artists and the features on there? Was his favorites going to run that? But, as I was losing belief and all that, guess what? Guess who believed it? God did. And that's the album that we got here. So it's 18 songs, 57 minutes, Cash. I noticed it, it's a Khaled album, so he don't do any rapping or singing. It's his production, him putting certain artists together, getting them to drop just putting features together that you probably wouldn't have heard elsewise, right? But he was missing some staples that I noticed on this album. We'll go ahead and throw that out there. The Nas, you just mentioned Nas. Nas wasn't on this one. Drake was featured a couple times. I know he didn't go in the bag and grab a bunch of the up-and-coming artists like he usually do. He'll have a couple of them on there. It was all well-established artists that was going on here. Some people he went back to two times on here. I mean, you had Future, you had Lil Baby, you had Drake on there twice. 21 was on there twice, right? Yeah, Roddy Ricch was on there twice, so he knew what he had to do, and he came with it on this one.
Yeah, he went with the short shot. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, after this last album, I think he took the critique well. Well, not initially, as you alluded to earlier, but I think he took the critique well and just went to the well, a few times, and it proved to overall be the best decision for this project.
Yeah. So starting off, it had like a short intro kind of feature, like with Drake, called No Secret. Didn't really feel it. Didn't even know why it needed to be there. The name of the album is God Did. I figured you should have came right on with his song number 2, which was God Did, which was Rick Ross featuring Lil Wayne and Jay-Z. and we got a 5-minute tirade from Jay-Z, something that we haven't gotten in a long time, a la reminiscent of his, freestyles he used to go do at Hot 97 on the mixtapes and things like this. Some people we talked to said like, hey, this is what we should expect from Jay. Some lapsed listeners and stuff like this. I'm saying, yeah, it's what we should expect. We know we're gonna get top tier, but when are you getting 5 minutes, no chorus, just him just spitting forever on the track? And at the same time, with features from Rick Ross and Lil Wayne, who didn't lack at all on this song, but just by the sheer amount of time that he was on it, kind of still overshadowed. I think you put one of those features on any one of these other songs, especially the next song up after this, the Kanye, Eminem, you have moved that Wayne versus that, Wayne would be getting all the accolades as well. But keep the focus on where it should have been. This J verse, early talks, is it moving up in your list or is it moving into the category where you're gonna, it's gonna get viewed in that verse of the year?
We're gonna get there.
Okay, my fault. I want to get too ahead.
We gonna get there. Let's focus on the song as a whole, man, because I think a lot of these reviews that you're gonna get and a lot of these ones you're gonna listen to is going to focus on Hov, and rightfully so. Like you mentioned earlier, we're gonna get to that and fan out over what he did. But to me, man, this was like the 3-man weave, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like everybody was there, had their purpose. Rick Ross came and did what Rick Ross, like, they've done this before.
No. I'm not gonna let you do that, because you usually say Rick Ross, when he's featured on the album, he don't go with the rest of the other verses. Ross stayed on track.
On task. He stayed, yes. Okay. Yeah. You got me. Ross stayed on task. Perfect segue, man. Ross stayed on task, and I think that's the reason why I like this so much is because the energy he had from when I started really rocking with Ross. This is after the first album. I like his first album, but like the Trillers and when he started getting the Jay-Z features and stuff like that, like the energy, like, he didn't ever have to really match anybody lyrically. It's just the style and how he layers the bars and what he brings to the table in terms of the entire package. Like, people be acting like Ross don't got them things in the chamber as far as projects, albums, songs, anthems. He has them, you know what I mean? Has the last couple projects, not been the best Ross? Absolutely hasn't been the best Ross, but he's been consistent throughout this entire time, whether he's been the hot guy or not. So this was like a good setup. Like, it got me amped every single step of the way. And Ross was like the perfect guy to have the ball in his hands at the initial steps of this song, you know what I mean? And you know me, Prez, man. Anytime I get that gospel like beat or whatever the case may be, no drums in the beginning, and it's just really building to something. Had me at hello, man. Had me at hello. So I love that Ross, how he kind of set everything up perfectly for what was to come, man.
And everybody, like, in their rhymes are kind of talking about their little adventure going forward, how they constantly elevated and moving forward like that. And I think each one of the artists kind of hit that in their rhymes, in their verses, So, yeah, I thought that was good. Now, when it comes up to the next artist, Lil Wayne, I'm going to tell you right now, the only thing that kind of detracted me a little bit from him was, like, I thought it was a little bit too auto-tunish. I hate when I have too much of the robotic little voice in it, but that's just a personal pet peeve. What he was saying, what he was doing, Wayne killed that fucking verse. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I enjoyed that. I was like, man, because me and you was just talking 2 weeks ago when he came out there saying the Carter 6 was on its way. I'm like, are you excited? Not really.
We don't, because we don't know what to expect. And it's not as if Wayne over the last couple years hasn't been doing his thing in his spot duty and his features. Like, there was one year, I think it was 2021 or 2020, where I think we referenced it on the pod. Like, nobody's really saying Wayne is having a nice little run, but Wayne's having a run here of features to where he's sounding like his old self again. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether he's doing typical Wayne shit where he just rapping his ass off and having those one-liners that we all remember, or it's just style and it's just flowing him, kind of fitting that song like a glove. So for him to show up like this on this track, especially when I don't know whether they knew Hov was gonna do 5 minutes or not. But you know, you let Hov do what Hov does. All you can do is know Hov on the song and know you got to come with it. And now I think that's exactly what Wayne
I think
did.
they came with it, but I think they're doing 5 minutes. If Khaled sent me, if I'm either one of those artists, Khaled sent me this right here, I'd be like, bro, I'm not clearing it. Take my name off here. Put me on another song. Put me on another song. I almost want this.
I want the smoke. I want the smoke, man, because at the end of the day, man, that stat is going to be on my record as well. You know what I mean? Now, everybody going to talk about the J verse, which we're going to get to, but that Wayne verse was no slouch in terms of just the shit he was talking about as far as just really mocking you mini-me's and really saying, yo, I'm that guy. Let's not remember the face tats, all of the, kind of all of this. He just ran through it a little bit. He touched on it. And when I thought he was going there, Perez, that's when the verse ended. I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like he kept you right there just wanting a little bit more.
Yeah. Long ways away from that trust fund babies, Wayne, that we had got, a couple years. That's what I'm gonna tell you. It's stuff like that got me kind of lukewarm, or when I was saying like I wasn't anticipating the album, because if I'm getting something like that, hold off, man. I'm good. But if it's more of this right here, I'm all ears,
Yeah, I mean, it got to be something that sparks these legends at this point, because it's definitely not money. It has to be the love, and it has to be the music, and whatever Khaled does to hype people up, man. That got to be applauded, man. This dude is like probably one of the best motivators, you know what I mean? And you got to respect him as a producer, man, to be able to keep putting out these albums at this rate, regardless of whether you like it or love it. Like he always brings out everybody's best, man. And I think that the production, like I said, how he orchestrates everything. We know it's clear Khaled doesn't push the buttons or anything like that for the purists out there, but that's not all what a producer is at all times. You know what I'm saying? If you could do all those things, great. I applaud you, and I respect the hell out of you guys that produce and are hands-on. But also, there's something to be said to be the orchestrator of the vibes. You know what I mean? And I think he really set the tone with this being the first song on the project, man. What you think about it overall?
Overall, man, it's good. But I want to get into what the people are waiting for. Let's not go around it anymore, man, because you turned a good track featuring Wayne, Ross, and then now you coming into this Jay-Z. He turned a good track into great, man. He's to put in his words, Jesus turned water to wine. For Hov, it just took a stove. He applied that heat to it, and now it's fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Get the dual references. I know I'm just using it in another sense, but I'm saying, when Hov came onto this, man, and he's going down the list of his accolades, but I didn't find it in a bragging fashion. I found it's like how he was saying how far he'd elevated himself, his crew, the rap game, everything, everybody around him, and he incorporated that into the whole verse. Man, that was like this. Didn't have to go take shots at nobody. Didn't have to take shots at nobody. Little stuff over here where he kind of mentioned because it goes with the story, but it wasn't, hard hitting like we just got from. I'll go ahead and say it. Like we got from Game just coming out of nowhere with Eminem and him going off for 10 minutes, and then we was just like, why do I need 10 minutes of rehash stuff? This was like, in a slick way, just going over his life and times and everything, his come up, his rise, and his people,
his people, like he included his people in there and the things that they've been through internally, and just the self-actualization of just being that pinnacle and like really surpassing your dreams. Like, he was like, him and Ty really talk about, yo, can you believe this shit? These deals that we making, the amount of money, how far we came, like, they really had those conversations, and you never like really get privy to that because they don't really let you in so much in terms of how it feels great to really achieve a goal and continue to kind of build and leave a legacy. So like you said, man, I didn't feel like it was normal Hov to where people can say, hey, he was bragging, because this shit is fact. And, and he's what's
the
on
billionaire line.
What's what I done seen it all with Jeezy, or maybe it was Go Crazy, when he was talking about, being a hustler's hope. I'm what they might mean, or something like that. Remember that on Go Crazy? Like this, whatever field you in, and if you rock with Hov, you know what I mean? And not to, anyway, I'm gonna say what I say. If you rock with Hov and you follow his career, you follow that entire story, everything he was saying in them bars, and just talking about 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 million, 4 million when he was talking about that on You Don't Know. And just like,
and then now he's talking about the billion,
so and the
4 that he
he's
kind of gave to them.
Yeah, not birthed, but just made, you know what I mean, in terms of helping them out along the way and being there at their start, whether it's through Rock Nation or through Rockefeller Records, you know what I mean? So it was great to see, man, him be on that display and just really seem like he having a conversation with us. He didn't really get too in the rapidy technical part. It was just like that's the best type of rap for me. It's just like he had a nice melody of just, he will get technical in pockets and then he would just like let off the gas. Yeah, you know, that's the competition, you know, that's, you know what I mean? Where he paused in that part where he was just talking about that, you know, it's just really getting to him in terms of just rapping well. So, you know, I enjoyed all parts of this whole verse, man. Again, I probably listened to it like 3-4 times, you know, this past weekend. And, I can't say enough great things about it. I look forward to kind of further letting it sink in and kind of getting to your point of verse of the year. It's got to be in consideration. I'm not really willing to say it is at this point. You know what I mean? We got a couple more.
Why, Cash? Why? It is good enough that
it's going to be in consideration.
That right now it's going to be in that contention. We ain't giving no titles or nothing right now. I'm saying this is definitely going in the mix. This is definitely going in the mix. And when I'm going into consideration, I don't see this just magically popping out. Ain't nothing out of this going to be proved false. I think it may be this may have other people step up their game and stuff on here and get put up in there, but I'm still going to remember this verse. We're over halfway throughout the year. I just don't see 5 other people coming out just doing something hotter than this right now.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you on that. Like I said, it's automatically slotted in there, but I'm not jumping out the window saying absolutely verse of the year, like all of the breakdowns that we had. And shout out to Guru. I also follow Guru as well, as far as just him being an engineer and some of the stuff that you know, he does on that front, teaching and just kind of how he's grown as an engineer, being Jay's engineer all these years. Super dope for him to break everything down and kind of really, you know, give people what it was about. But he's also, you know, that's Hov's man. And of course, it's a bias and, you know what I'm saying, in terms of that aspect. But at the same time, it's a lot of gas thrown on it, Prez. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't want to rush to say it's the verse of the year. Is going to ultimately be in the consideration. So that's where I'm coming from.
The year ain't done. I ain't locking nothing in. It's in consideration. It's in consideration.
Leaving everything on the table.
I like how they kind of flipped you know, should have never gave you niggas money. They done fucked up and gave the right niggas wealth.
Yeah, man. So anything left to say about this project, man? I know I want to get to some of the other songs on the project.
Some of the other songs, the songs right after this, the Kanye and M song, like I said, like, man, it was okay. Wasn't like the album and the
What do you think of him? You know, really. Go ahead.
I didn't really feel like the little chorus portion that Kanye was doing. I thought M came through with the verse. I could have seen Wayne verse on that song as well. And, you know, then it kind of been accoladed, you know, if I'm resequencing that and doing that a little bit, I may just give that whole song to Jay. I'm like, just Jay, we gonna let you go off. That's my intro. We're gonna move these other verses somewhere else.
Right.
But hey, like you saying, like they stepped up to the challenge, and who knows, it was probably their verses that made Jay must go in his own out like that. Glad he did. But yeah, as far as that one, how about you?
I was a little bit taken aback with him rapping about God, man. I know he was staying on task. But I was it was different because I don't remember ever really like, and again, I'm not an Eminem stan, but I've listened to Eminem more than enough. And I don't recall a time, and correct me if I'm wrong, where M really kind of was talking about his faith, you know what I mean, in a verse. So I was kind of taken aback from that, but he didn't get too crazy with it. He stayed in pocket in terms of not all of the weirdness that M tends to overdo it in certain instances. So I was cool with this. But yeah, I think the marriage was, I don't know, man. It was awkward, the Kanye and M, but I also liked them trying it out. But the main thing I liked about this whole thing was the production. Dre smoked that beat, man. He smoked that beat. So.
Can you find me the song where Jay-Z is not doing the same similar thing as M? Jay-Z don't ever he mentions he's on these faith type songs and everything, but it's always has a little blasphemous type of vibe to it. Yeah. Jay is he'll go more saying atheist and all this little stuff, but he ain't never gonna come out. I ain't heard him just come out and just
yeah, he's.
Stay in line with just being pure Christian and nothing like this. You know what I mean?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna fault him for that.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it was just different to hear because I haven't heard him in that space.
In that lane?
Yeah, okay. I haven't heard him in that lane. So it wasn't bad. It was just okay, this is different. You know what I mean? It may take some getting used to. But overall, I can't say I was mad at the song.
Man, Hova. I mean, that's God.
Right.
That's what he's trying to do. And now, how he turned everything we not gonna get to.
Yeah, I'm not getting into the religious aspect of this.
I'm not gonna fault him for that.
I mean, the album's called God Did. I mean,
yeah.
What are folks expecting? You know what I mean? That's all I say. You know what I mean? There's gonna be some blasphemy on this entire album. People are speaking what they feel God did in their lives. Who am I to judge? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
and then you had Big Time featuring Future and Lil Baby. Man, this was okay, but as we go through the album, this was just a solid track, but they had better features later on in the album. And now I like to get to those when we go to those other songs. So I ain't gonna dwell on this too long. It was a solid track. I'm not mad at it at all, but they did have better features. Not together, but later on in the album when they're featured on songs with everybody else. So
yeah, so I mean, let's skip right along, man. Let's give the people what they want. Let's get right to what we enjoyed.
So I enjoyed to keep going with Lil Durk, 21 Savage, Roddy Ricch. I liked it, that one. Everybody Goes. And then I'm an 8 then. That was 21. Him kind of going up in there. I like how he trying to take it back. Hey, man, y'all kind of, acknowledging Everybody Goes. Everybody does it great. Well, I'm going back to being on my ape shit then. I like that. I liked that line right there. But yeah, that was one I enjoyed. Roddy Ricch, he's back in his own. He had that little slip up. We mentioned this, that second album that he dropped, I wasn't kind of really feeling. I think he was kind of losing the vibe a little bit. But ever since he came, I think he dropped that third one last year, and he's been back on that little zone. I'm liking everything that Roddy Ricch has kind of been featured on as of late as well too. So,
okay,
your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, it kind of, for me, after these first two songs, it kind of gets a little murky for a song or two, but then we get to the joint with Takeoff and Quavo. So that's the first
party.
That's the first time I was okay, this is a bop. I enjoy this.
Eddie Murphy need to be, heavily. If he ain't got an Instagram account, he ain't got no Twitter, he need to go get that shit and he need to be promoting this. Because they turned his joke of a song into a hit. This shit goes, man.
I enjoyed the hell out of it, Prez. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I ran it back okay. This one I can't deny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And specifically, Takeoff, because anybody that listens to the Migos or just people I've been around that listen to them, they'll always mention Takeoff. When you talk about I am not comparing them to, I'm just comparing them to groups. You always have your favorites, you have your dark horses, and you have and people that actually listen to these groups have, always been that chatter. Takeoff is really that guy if he ever really locks in and hones in. So I think Takeoff really, really, he killed it, man. I can't say he deserved my attention, and moving forward, he'll have a little bit more of my attention as they kind of do this group opposite of Offset, man. You know what I mean? Because So I rock with that. That's the first song, and then after that, I like the Future and SZA joint, Beautiful. I think that they melded well on that. I like Future more so on his melodic vibes.
You skipped over the Drake.
What Drake?
The Drake and Lil Baby.
What
You
about
like it?
And
You ain't like
I
it?
told you I didn't like it from the very beginning. I have not waited on that opinion. You always try to give me this. I'm just trying to, what my mama always told me, man, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, just let it rock. But
Just
Pres,
let it ride.
you want to bring it out, man. I hated the shit when I first heard it. I know it's gonna do well. Like I can put my A&R hat on, so to speak, or I know when I see a hit, the shit is a hit. But I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it at all.
Okay, I'm just being quick on it so we can get on to the next song. I enjoy it. I can see that as a hit. But Drake, honestly, you owe me about 36 more of these before I can get that honestly never mind out my head. So keep it coming. Keep up this type of vibe. Keep these type of songs coming out. Don't give us no more of that, the other side of the family reunion type songs.
All right. So my next one, man, believe it or not, Press, I really like the joint with Nardo Wick and Kodak Black, man. I really do. That one is called It Ain't Safe. So I found myself enjoying it a lot. And I figured I will admit this to you about Kodak. When I do enjoy some, I'm publicly going to say I enjoyed it. It fell into the same vein of how I felt about the joint I was just talking about, Party with Quavo and Takeoff, man. So that's right up there with me in terms of just like, this is immediately going to the good vibes. So the gym playlist, like immediately, you know what I mean? So I rock with that song.
I don't need to add nothing else to it. Cash gave Kodak is just due. Thank you. Right. Fam Good, We Good, Roddy Ricch, and Gunna, man. I liked that one too, man. Like that one is there, like you're saying, like it got added to that playlist. I just felt like it was going along that same vein as that party song, So immediately jumped off to me, moved it over.
Okay. So what you got after that, man? As we round this album out, man? I know I got my second favorite song. I got my second favorite song later in the album, though.
I got three more on here. You had Way Past Luck with that's 21 Savage track on there that he had. It was pretty much, it was him by himself. I liked it, that one. 21 just came on that, killing it. Then I had the Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD did. I know it's kind of old, a little bit like kind of dated sounding, but you got to realize the guy ain't here. So for what he did and what he did to that track, it was actually a Juice. I'm not a Juice WRLD fan, but I liked this track. You know what I mean? And I liked the way it was going. So I don't give too much Juice WRLD praise, but I will give him praise on this right here. So like I did like that, man. Unfortunately, he's gone. And then, of course, number 16, I think that's the one that you kind of alluding to, the Jadakiss.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I wish it was longer. I don't want to hear that I don't want to hear the Madison Square. It was a nice, leading up to
touch.
It. But I feel like Kiss should have gave me 3 minutes of bars. Just like Hov gave me 5, at least Kiss gave me 3. You know what I'm saying? Because that beat was too hard, first of all. Like designed for Kiss to just kill it. And he delivered, but then it was over that quickly. You know what I mean? So between the Hov and Kid, like, man, my dudes that are 40, 45 plus, why are they rapping like this? Why are they doing this, man? Like I'm enjoying hip hop getting old, and I'm enjoying the older guys because they're all older guys, just still doing their thing at a high level, man, and being able to be appreciated, man. So that's another guy I would like to hear an album from. You know what I mean? If we talking about one of the legends, is Kiss, man, because damn it, if he can keep this up in this momentum, man, I thought he would have did it from the verses, but that's neither here nor there. Anytime I get a dope Kiss verse, I'm happy about that, man, especially on this stage.
Man, the platforms that they got and the way they can keep themselves relevant is a lot different than where it was back in the day, I feel like. So we ain't gonna have too many, or we shouldn't have as many like broke rappers going into that hires, or the ones we consider elite or something like this running into money problems, just because there's so many different avenues now where they can go in and make a little bit of money and stuff like this. And I'm liking to see the resurgence. I ain't even gonna say resurgence, it's just them continuing on their careers. It's no I think we shifted, like the way we were saying, like 40 or so was supposed to be, you know, where you kind of die out of rap. That
Bruh,
age is
you remember when
moving further
30
and
was
further to
the
the
death
yeah,
of a rapper? Like that
yeah,
was just 10 years ago, maybe, you
yeah.
know? Yeah, man, it's crazy.
But it's kind of moving further down. So just where rap went and how it became the popular genre. So you're always gonna have those people. We're reaching that rock status. You know what I mean? Like Metallica, whenever they come out, they're gonna sell their albums and stuff. Now we got the Jay-Z's and all this. We're gaining that in hip hop. So whenever they're dropped, they still gonna do their right numbers that we expect to honor the greats and stuff for all this. So
Yeah, I mean, hip hop
I'm liking that.
Hip hop is only 49, right? At this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're in our 40s. I mean, we can admit it now, man. You know what I mean? We about there. You a couple months away. I'm a little bit later than that, but you know, we can't fight it anymore. So we growing up with the culture, and it's growing up. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing to see, man. And like I said, man, that Kiss verse is dope. The next guy we're gonna talk about, Jid, and his project that we're going to talk about. Jid was just saying he's 30, you know what I mean? And he's one of the young guys in my eyes, but you know, 30 really isn't, it's young, but still, you know what I mean? Like these guys are growing up. The Kendricks, the Coles and, you know, even the guys up under them are getting of age. So, like I said, man, I think rap is in a good space and hip hop overall, man. I mean, you're going to have the balance. You're going to have the Nardo Wicks and the Little Dirks and how they do things. And I think I can appreciate all of it. I don't have to listen to it to like all of it, but I can appreciate it for what it is and see what it's going to do. So I think that's what this DJ Khaled album really did, was just kind of give you the who's who. And I also want to highlight the joint with City Girls and Lotto or whatever. My wife was rocking with that. From a female's perspective, I saw her rocking with that.
I don't know if you had the problem that I had on Apple Music though. So when I downloaded, it kept playing. What it gave me was that 21 Savage song right after. Mm-hmm. It gave me that twice. And I'm like, hold up, I thought City Girl. So I thought like he was like a unnamed feature on the first little part, but then like they never came. And then like I had to go back and I was just like checking. I was like, it's never playing on like mine.
Nah, I didn't have that issue.
And then I went to the edited version of that album and it plays on there. But like the unedited, you know, explicit one, like they song just kind of skips on my Apple. I don't know what that little flaw. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that flaw, but that's kind of what I was doing. So the first couple times out, I did not hear the City Girl song or Lotto, and then now every time I'd have heard it, I'd have heard the edited version, not the real. So, but yeah, it's solid song. But yeah, it's definitely went past me first couple of times because I was like, hold up, I'm not hearing Lotto at all. Like when is this supposed to come on? So
yeah, man, I definitely can definitely hear bills paid in your local strip club very soon. And that's where that need to be. So I rocks with it though, man. Like Lotto is one of them ones to where I'm like, she's gonna be special, man. As far as just being a star, I could kind of see it all over her, man. And well, I'm interested to see how her career does moving forward, man. Her and Meg as well, man. Like just whether they can keep going, man. Like that's really where I'm at with it. Is can they carry the torch from the Nicki generation to where and Nicki's been moving too. I don't know. I think it's Nick. I don't even think Nicki's on this project, man. That would have been dope. That would have been dope to get Nicki and Lotto and maybe a Meg together. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, I know you got City Girls and then you got Rep Miami and stuff like that, but that should be the next. Whatever Khaled project comes out next, I think that would be dope.
So, man, encapsulate all that, man. I thought Khaled album pretty solid, man. It has definitely some gems on there that Jada Kiss, the God did with Jay-Z. Those would be my true elite standouts. Rest of the album is very good. Oh no, I put Party on there too with Quavo Amigos. You know, I like those other ones that's kind of true standout. And then the rest of it is just a good solid album. Like so, not many skips on here. Playable, very, very respectable album after like what we got last time from him. So nice way to, get back in the lab and, put out some good work that Khaled. Appreciate it.
For sure, man. Shout out to Khaled, man.